China isn't much of a coffee country, but its homegrown coffee chains are now trying to win over customers globally. Luckin Coffee and rival Coty have expanded aggressively in China and even butted heads in a price war. Founded in 2017, Luckin has overtaken Starbucks in mainland China with more than twice as many stores. Their coffees are cheap, their business model more Silicon Valley than Starbucks, and their menus wacky and constantly changing, from alcoholic lattes to watermelon cold brews. But slowing growth in China has pushed Chinese companies to seek opportunities elsewhere.
Luckin's global expansion started here in Singapore, where it opened its first 2 overseas stores in 2023. And now it has set its sights even further.
Following in the footsteps of its rival Coty, which was started by former Luckin executives and already brewing in North America, Luckin is opening in New York City, 5 years after the company was delisted from the Nasdaq over an accounting scandal. In Asia today, Luckin's coffee can be as cheap as $2. But these chains aren't just competing on price. They're challenging the very idea of what a coffee shop is, according to China's strategy consultant Alison Malmsten.
When Luckin first started blowing up in China, we recognized it as a tech company that sells coffee and not just a coffee company. And this is because they're so focused on digitalization that ordering on the app is super flawless. Like you order, you go by the coffee shop, you pick up your coffee, no dealing with baristas.
Coty is offering steep discounts in New York. 99 cents for your first drink if you download their app. Over time, analysts think these Chinese chains will remain cheaper than Starbucks in America, but the price gap won't be as wide as it is back home.
Chinese companies, when they're going abroad, they're often willing to scale up, focusing more on capturing more market share than their profit margin, and therefore able to sell at a really low price.
In China, Luckin has huge facilities for processing and roasting coffee beans, making it cost-efficient. But with tariffs looming, the company could lose some of that supply chain advantage. Add in staff on New York wages, and the costs start to pile up. Despite tensions between Washington and Beijing, a bargain brew from Chinese chains could convert coffee lovers facing rising prices around the world.
And let's talk more about this with our China reporter, Elaine Yu. And we got to welcome her to our CNBC family. I mean, welcome on board.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and what a time to be covering China.
No doubt about it. So we desperately needed you, and we're glad to have you on here. American coffee companies, though, they're not doing so well in China. So what is it that they're not getting in the Chinese market?
So we talk about the price war in the auto world a lot, of course, but coffee is cutthroat too. And in China, Starbucks is absolutely feeling the strain. So Starbucks, starting today, has cut the prices of dozens of its drinks this summer. And that's just the latest sign of how stiff the competition has become. What's important to note is that the U.S. and China are both really important to Starbucks. So Starbucks counts 60% of its global revenue from both U.S. and China. And now, ironically, Starbucks has to face Chinese rivals in both of these markets. And it is hard when you've got Chinese competitors like Luckin and Coty Coffee that have tried to undercut each other. But it's also not just pricing pressures. It is also weak consumer demand, as we've seen from the consumer prices that have fallen for consecutive months. And economists have warned of deflationary pressures deepening. So for Starbucks, it's quite a double whammy of stiff, fierce competition and also flagging demand. Sherry.
And we see it at the bottom of the screen, Luckin actually opening a shop in New York. I mean, how is that going to go between, given the U.S. and China tensions? I mean, could that entice American consumers?
So the timing is definitely interesting for Luckin's American debut, but New York isn't quite like Washington, and it's smart to choose New York as a testing ground for its first U.S. outlet. And if you think about, what's really top of mind for consumers these days, for a lot of them across the world, it's really prices and value for money. In China, investors have called this the consumption downgrade. And in the U.S., young people are set to be recession-proofing their lives. And especially in a place like New York, when grocery prices have become so expensive that it's now a major talking point in the mayoral race. So that could be it, like $1 to $2 cheaper on their Americanos each day. That could be what converts New Yorkers from, say, Starbucks to Luckin.